12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
2 vehicles, more than 20 shots. We'll tell you how a shootout ended on San Antonio's east side overnight.
And today marks 1 year since the October 7th massacre in Israel, where Hamas terrorists slaughtered hundreds of Jews. How Texas governor is responding to the anniversary, plus Jewish Federation of San Antonio remembering those lost in the ongoing conflict.
Prescott throws, crossing, it's caught for the touchdown! It's Tolbert!
And how about them Dallas Cowboys? The boys giving us some late night thrills into the early morning hours today. We're going to go ahead and recap their last minute win against those Steelers out there in Pittsburgh. Yes.
That was a long game, it felt like.
It was. So if you're with us right now this morning, we really appreciate y'all hanging out with us because we know that that game went late into the hours. They had a rain delay out there. So, yeah, we really like you guys hanging out with us this morning.
Yes, and again, shout out to them Cowboys. They got us some great news this morning.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get some great news today. Our girl Sarah Spivey is joining us right now. Justin Horn on vacation, but you're in here with us. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here with you guys. Y'all bring the energy in the morning, that's for sure. Now, here's the thing. If you're searching for good news in the forecast, it comes in the mornings because in the middle of the week, the morning lows are going to be pretty pleasant. But otherwise, we're going to be challenging records in San Antonio. Let's go ahead and take a look at temperatures as you're stepping out the door this morning. 73 in San Antonio, 71 in New Braunfels, it's 78 in Del Rio. Meanwhile, it's only in the 60s, low 60s. Out in Bernie and Kerrville, it's 61 degrees in the hill country. Those higher elevations really helping this morning. A little bit cooler in the hill country because it's a little bit drier. But as you're looking at your Monday forecast, I mean, it is going to be hot. By 1, we'll be at 89, 94 for the high and mostly sunny. We're going to be mostly clear later on tonight. Now, as I showed you, the mornings are going to be pleasant, but the afternoons are going to be very hot. In fact, we're going to be 10 degrees above average, challenging records tomorrow and Wednesday, 96 on Wednesday. But despite that record challenging heat, it's going to be a bit of a duality because in the mornings it's going to be pretty pleasant. I'm going to show you those morning lows. And of course, I've got the latest on Hurricane Milton. That's where I want to start in the forecast. I know a lot of us have interests in Florida. Hurricane Milton going to be a bit of a 1-2 punch for the state of Florida. Details coming up.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Sarah. All right, let's take a look at your traffic authority right now because things are slow going for the most part. If you're about to step outside right now, only thing we are noticing is going to be I-10 West at Dominion Drive out there in the far northwest side of town. We have a stalled vehicle out there, Jeff.
Yeah, no, let's go ahead and get with Alex Gomez this morning. Good morning, Alex. How about them boys?
How about them boys, Japhanie? Right now, I'm just east of downtown. This is going to be 35 North at Walters. Low traffic volume because I bet a lot of sports fans are catching some Z's after the Cowboys were catching them TDs last night. So, yeah, it's all good, Japhanie.
Thanks so much, Alex, man. I tell you, a lot of people waking up happy. I know you got your coffee ready because I know you were watching the game.
All right, thank you very much for that, Alex. All right, well, new this morning, San Antonio police say that more than 20 shots were fired during a shootout between people in 2 vehicles overnight. So this happened around 1 o'clock this morning near the 100 block of North WW White, not far from I-10. According to San Antonio police, it appears that people inside the 2 vehicles had a gun battle on I-10 on the westbound lanes at WW White. One of those drivers exited the highway with over 20 hits to their vehicle. Police say that the passenger was grazed in the head and also hit in the stomach. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The other vehicle got away, and police say they are now looking for a red-colored car.
This morning, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a man who hit an off-duty deputy with a car on Wurzbach Road. BCSO has now released a picture and that suspect's name. 27-year-old Adrian Ariano is facing 2 charges in the incident from Thursday morning. If you see him or know where he is, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers or email the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. That info is on your screen right there. It's also posted on our website at KSAT.com.
Well, today marks 1 year since the October 7th massacre in Israel. Terrorist group Hamas murdering more than 1,200 innocent civilians, around 30 Americans included in that grouping, alongside the brutal sexual assault and torture of women and children. Hamas took more than 250 hostages, including 10 Americans. This morning, they're still holding a reported 100 hostages captive. The surprise attack launched the war between Israel and Hamas, which has claimed thousands of lives in Gaza. Since the start of the war, international anti-Semitism has rocketed as well, prompting leaders like Governor Greg Abbott here in Texas to lay down executive action. And later today, Governor Abbott will be honoring and remembering October 7th in 2 different Texas cities. First at the Remembering October 7th ceremony up the road in Austin, and then a different event later on in Dallas. This past March, he authorized $4 million in grants to protect Jewish centers and further education about anti-Semitism. He also ordered further protection of Jewish students on college campuses and condemned violent or threatening incidents that surpass free speech. And here in San Antonio, the Jewish Federation of San Antonio is also hosting a memorial event this evening. It will be held from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Bethel Temple to honor those lost, acknowledging also those still that are held in captivity and embracing hope for peace. Community members of all faiths and walks of life are invited to attend.
Switching gears now, today is the last day to get registered to vote. You have the rest of the day to get it done. The deadline is at 7 p.m. It's easy to register. All you have to do, you can submit your voter registration application in person at the Bexar County Election Department office on Frio Street. The department is also extending its hours ahead of the deadline. They'll be open at 8 a.m. this morning until 7 p.m. Once you're registered, you can vote early or wait for Election Day, which is November the 5th. Early voting starts October 21st and run through November 1st, including the weekend, so you have so much time to get it in. Voters can vote at any polling site during the early voting period. We have a list of those locations on our website, of course, right now. We also have a breakdown of how to get registered to vote, how to check if you are already registered, even ballot information. You can find it all on our Vote 2024 page on our website, KSAT.com. The Gulf Coast is churning its second hurricane in as many weeks. Hurricane Milton is rapidly intensifying as it makes its way towards Florida's west coast, putting dozens of counties under an emergency order. People there are already filling up sandbags and preparing for the worst. Governor Ron DeSantis is also putting the area on alert.
Know that you're not going to be able to be told with 100-degree certainty where this storm is going to go this far out in advance.
Is set to be the second round of storm surges, heavy rain, and devastating wind speeds in as many weeks. Recovery from Hurricane Helene in the southeast states is still in its early stages. Crews are working around the clock to restore power and cell service as the death toll passes 227 people, with more than 170 still missing. The National Guard has completed 422 flight missions since the storm hit, delivering medical supplies, generators, and other necessities.
Yeah, tough news for those folks out there in Florida that are still trying to recover in the southeast, especially after Helene. Unfortunate news of round 2. Hopefully they can get as prepared as much as possible.
Prayers are definitely out for them.
Yeah.
It is 5:08 right now. We got 73 degrees outside.
All right, well, Amazon deal days, they're going to get started later on this week. In fact, tomorrow we're going to show you how you can save on some gifts maybe for Christmas now that we are just 79 days away from Christmas Day.
And researchers in San Antonio who have been creating new technologies for padding helmets. While it's mostly for athletes, we're going to show you how this technology could also be used for military members.
And we're taking you outside with live cam across the city of San Antonio. And again, it is a Cowboys Victory Monday. So if you're up with us, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're going to help give you some energy, get you going, maybe get that coffee going out there. We'll be right back with more traffic news and weather. 5:12, welcome back to Good Morning San Antonio. You know what, earlier before the show, we're talking about those helmets that these NFL guys are wearing nowadays. Yeah, a little bit. So obviously making athletes and soldiers safer, that's the goal of researchers in San Antonio who have been creating new technologies for helmet padding.
So the team behind the collaborative project between UTSA and Southwest Research Institute, they say that they're taking a new approach to stopping traumatic brain injuries or TBIs. Our Devin Karp is in the studio right now with us this morning to show some of that new technology. ceremony. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Now take a look at these. These may look like regular helmets that you could find just on any other football field, but they are filled with cutting-edge helmet padding technology developed by mechanical engineers meant to help protect athletes and service members alike. Now, these researchers come from a background of mechanical engineering, not just sports medicine. They're looking at different impact forces that happens when a player is tackled from every angle or when they hit the ground. Now, the project has been going on for a year and a half with professors and students experimenting with different kinds of 3D printed material, testing how different hits at different velocities affect the brain inside the helmet. Now, they say the main goal is to stop the brain from rattling around inside the skull, which can lead to those TBIs. Now, Dr. Morteza Sadie, assistant professor in the Department of Engineering, says he hopes the new padding will be used in the NFL, but says it's his passion to put it to use for high school athletes.
Most of the time it's overlooked because there's less money there, but it's the most important part. Like these young people, they play and they get concussion, they have to live with the consequences for the rest of their life, and to reach their full potential, it's really important to take care of their safety and well-being.
Now, here's the other side of this. Researchers from the Southwest Research Institute, they're also working with UTSA to take some of that padding and put it to use for soldiers in combat. While conditions on the battlefield are a lot different than they are in the football field, it could still be used in their helmets, body armor, and more. It's all about those engineering forces at work. Now, they're still doing tests on the research, so it won't be publicly implemented until the future, but I'll have that full story coming up for you on the later shows. RJ and Japhanie.
All right, thank you very much, Devin. That's good stuff there. We'll celebrate, honor, and remember people impacted by blood cancer. Join us at Hemisphere Park on October 19th for Light the Night. Hundreds of lanterns will illuminate the sky with hope and honor.
KSAT reporter Daniela Ibarra will MC the opening ceremony. If you'd like to support Team KSAT in celebrating and remembering patients, all you got to do is scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen. I'm actually excited about this. I think it's going to be a beautiful symbolic ceremony. I've never been before, but I know you guys have done this in the past.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great to see all the people that come out there. And of course, for several different causes related to cancer, all those lanterns going up to the sky, it really is pretty breathtaking to see out there. All for a good cause.
Yes. 5:15 right now, 73 degrees outside.
All right, up the road, we have the Austin City Limits ACL Music Festival continuing over the weekend. And we still have some major headlines coming up. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
And headed out to Drive Cam, you see our boy Alex Gomez rolling around that curve. I see him. Of course, we're going to get to how your commute is going to look later on today on GMSA. All right, welcome back. It is 5:17. Look at that. First weekend of one of the biggest music festivals in the country. It just wrapped up. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered at the state capitol for the Austin City Limits Music Festival. The event is spread over 2 weekends with more than 100 performances on 9 stages. Headliners this year included Chris Stapleton, Blink-182, Norah Jones, Dua Lipa, and Tyler, the Creator. The festival is available to stream live on Hulu.
Yeah, saw some pictures over the weekend. Looked like there were a lot of people out there, despite some of the heat we've been seeing. Well, it is only October, but Amazon's Prime Big Day deals are coming back for 48 hours this week. Shoppers will have the chance to save on their holiday shopping tomorrow and Wednesday. To take advantage of those discounts, experts say to get organized, get your plans in place right now. You can start by adding items into your Amazon cart and clicking Save for Later.
I think I'm going to try to get a Roomba now.
Nice.
I need
some AirBuds. I always lose my AirPods.
There you go.
They got some pretty good deals on there for that. I was scoping it out. All right, taking a look here at TransGuide 37 at the Alamo Dome. Traffic looking pretty good so far. Again, no major incidents to let you know about at the moment. Again, the only thing that I saw on TxDOT's website is going to be I-10 West at Dominion Drive, where we do have a stalled vehicle still being reported in that area. Japhanie?
Alex Gomez out and about on the roadways as we speak. We saw you rolling through, Alex. Is everything still looking great?
Yeah, especially for the northeast side. 35 southbound near O'Connor Road. This is what you're going to be looking at. No construction delays coming down 35 south. However, it's those northbound lanes now. And that's what I've been noticing this past couple of weeks. 35 northbound outside 1604. That's where you're going to see all that construction slowing, Japhanie.
Thank you so much, Alex. Always bringing in the good news. Doesn't look too great, though, in our weather department when it comes down to these hurricanes.
No, especially out there in Florida again.
Devastating.
Another hurricane heading toward Florida. This is Hurricane Milton. It is strengthened into a Category 2 hurricane overnight. And if you take a look out toward Florida, you can see that it's already raining from a separate system out in Florida. They're going to get a lot more rain from Hurricane Milton. Now, I know we have a lot of interest in Florida, and I want to show you just how warm this water is over the Gulf of Mexico and why Milton is expected to strengthen even more. We're talking sea surface temperatures near 90 degrees. That's bathtub water. And that is water that acts as fuel for these hurricanes. And you can see just how quickly Milton is going to potentially strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane by this time tomorrow morning. And then it'll quickly approach the western coast of Florida as a major hurricane, potentially making landfall somewhere near the Tampa area down to Cape Coral on Wednesday before quickly moving across the state and moving back into the Atlantic Ocean by Thursday. So Milton, the biggest thing from Milton is going to be the storm surge for the western coast of Florida. Here's where we have a long stretch of a potential for life-threatening surge from the Tampa Bay area all the way down to Naples and points to the south, including Fort Myers and Sarasota. If you have family and friends out in those areas, you need to tell them to prepare now. And on top of that, there's expected to be a lot of rain across Florida. Take a look at these rainfall potentials. You could see anywhere from Jacksonville to Daytona Beach up to 5 to 7 inches of rain, and even in North Florida up to 5 inches of rain as well. So rain and storm surge, the main things with Milton. Now, tropical moisture, while it moves off toward Florida with Milton, we're actually going to get drier air moving into San Antonio, and that drier air is going to make it be a bit like a desert in San Antonio. What do I mean by that? Cool mornings and warm and potentially record-breaking afternoons. Our mornings are going to be pleasant, especially by Thursday morning. Mornings in the low 60s. Yes, please. That's a couple of hours of pleasant weather, but by the afternoons, it's going to be hot. Temperatures are going to be challenging records tomorrow. We're going to challenge a 62-year-old record, and Wednesday we're likely to beat a record, 95 and 96 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So enjoy the cooler weather outside right now. It's 73 in San Antonio, 60s in the Texas Hill Country. We're quickly going to warm. By 10, it'll be 81 degrees. By noon, 86. And in the afternoon, 94 for the high in San Antonio. We're going to be looking at highs generally in the mid-90s around the Alamo City, 95 in New Braunfels, 95 in Pleasanton, but closer to 90 degrees in the Hill Country. And again, the best way I can describe the weather is kind of desert-like, cool mornings and hot afternoons. RJ and Jeff.
So just try and get as much done before the afternoon as possible.
Or like noon.
Yes, yeah, definitely. All right, thank you, Sarah. 5:22 right now, 73 degrees outside.
Dallas Cowboys getting it done early this morning in Pittsburgh. Yep. They were able to find off the Steelers in the final seconds. Plus, we got a way for you to get some free Spurs tickets this week. Let's go. Welcome back, 5:25. Lots of people are going to be tired at the office today thanks to the game. I am probably included in that bunch. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in the very late game last night. Delayed 90 minutes because of the weather. It was pouring raining out there and the lightning was happening. Of course, in the typical Cowboys fashion, though, they had to keep fans biting their nails all the way to the end.
Stretching out here.
It was tough, man. I was like, come on.
Yes, well, we saw that Steelers score right there. That was with about 3 minutes left to play. But here, last second drive for Dak Prescott. He hits Jalen Tolbert with a 4-yard touchdown pass with just 20 seconds remaining on 4th and goal. So that gets the Cowboys over the hump here. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17 on the road. The game finished just after midnight last night. So yes, definitely a lot of weary Cowboys fans this morning, but it is all good. That is one great reason to stay up. The boys improved to 3-2 and win their second straight game. Now Dak Prescott here, definitely a roller coaster night. He threw 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, but had 2 interceptions and a fumble as well. But he also recovered a fumble on a last drive, that last second drive to keep the Cowboys' hopes alive, and they win a big one out there in the Steel City.
Yeah, keeping people up for a reason. All right, another fun game was the Bills at Texans this weekend. They marked their first time in the franchise history that the Texans helmet didn't have their traditional bull on the sides, and it was the first time that the letter H was painted on midfield, part of their new look for the season.
That's right. It was the H-Town look is what they were going for there. So first quarter, we saw the 3-0 win the Bills, and we see Cam Akers. He got the score. Now, that was a touchdown pass from C.J. Stroud, unload deep to Nico Collins, 67-yard touchdown. However, after that score, Nico Collins got hurt. So the Bills making a comeback here. Keon Coleman with a 49-yard touchdown over the pylon right there. But you know what? Houston survives as we get a freeze frame there. Kyle Fairbairn drills a 59-yard field goal as the Texans win. They are now 4-1 on the season. All right, and can you believe it? Yes, San Antonio's preseason schedule officially tips off today. Yes, we have some silver and black hoops, y'all. This is now the second year Victor Wembanyama in silver and black, and there are obviously new faces, the Spurs training camp roster, and this is now the first time that we have veteran leaders in the house like Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes.
That's right. Other new changes are noticeable too, like Keldon Johnson, who looks like he trimmed down a little bit, while Wemby looks stronger compared to his rookie season. Now, again, it all gets started tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tip-offs at 7 p.m. at Frost Bank Center. KSAT Sports Team will be live from there at 5 and 6, so be sure to join us for our first Spurs pregame of the year. And Wednesday, the Orlando Magic comes to town, followed by the Utah Jazz on Saturday.
All right. Well, look, I would be remiss saying that no Wemby or no CP3 tonight, but you know what? It's still Spurs basketball.
Yes.
All right. If you want to go to Spurs game but don't have too much cash on hand right now, here's a way that you can watch a game and save lives at the same time. This is the annual Spurs Blood Drive, It's happening today at the Frost Bank Center from 8 o'clock in the morning to 3 p.m. Whole blood donors will receive 2 tickets for the team's game against the Orlando Magic on Wednesday. I'm going to guess Wemby and CP3 will play in that game. And platelet donors will receive 4 tickets. All right. The demand for blood in one of the nation's fastest growing cities in San Antonio continues. Currently, our area is averaging 400 donations a day, but that is short of the 600 needed. So donors can set up an appointment and also text southtexasblood.org/Spurs or go ahead and call 210-731-5590 for more information.
A jam-packed Sunday full with a lot of
jam-packed Sunday, yeah. So Texans win, Cowboys last second win. Interesting fact, I know we got to go to break, but I believe Dak is the first person to ever throw a touchdown pass on a Sunday night and also on a Monday morning.
Get it, Dak.
In the same.
I see you, boy. All right, it's 5:29, 73 degrees outside.
A neighborhood park 6 years in the planning stages finally gets a grand opening date, while the park is already having a huge impact on people who have experienced tragedy in their lives.
More than 300 people are recently found by Texas immigration officials trying to cross into the U.S. illegally. How the Pearsall Detention Center is preparing for potential influx.
And ahead at 6 o'clock, Devin Karp returns to show us how a research team in San Antonio is working on new football helmets to prevent brain injuries. Welcome back. San Antonio police looking into 2 shootings that happened over the weekend. We'll update you on who was shot and which suspects SAPD is still looking for.
The Texas Department of Public Safety continues to mark large-scale apprehensions of people illegally crossing the border. How a South Texas detention facility is preparing for a potential influx of detainees.
Plus, a local neighborhood park is 6 years in the planning stages, finally has a grand opening date.
Good morning, and thanks so much for waking up and starting your morning off with us on this Monday.
Yep.
It is 5:33.
Yeah, definitely. So we had some warm temperatures over the weekend. Unfortunately, it seems like it's going to stick around.
Sticking around, man, but it's okay because our mornings are looking even
good.
more beautiful. Let's get to Sarah Spivey, another beautiful person in the studio.
I'm going to embarrass you guys. Okay?
Okay, let's go.
So my husband was watching GMSA at 6 last week, which is pretty early for him.
Yeah?
And he was like, Japhanie and RJ, they're pretty fun.
Oh, there we go. That's awesome.
And I can attest, y'all are pretty awesome. All right, outside right now we have got 73 degrees. It is the coolest part of the day, so enjoy it while it lasts because we are going to get pretty warm pretty quickly. It is about 10 degrees cooler though up in Bernie where it's 61, 62 in Bandera and 61 in Kerrville, even 58 in Comfort. Higher elevations, a few miles to the north, it feels completely different than it does in San Antonio. Good morning, Pleasanton. It's 71, 68 in Seguin. It's 70 in Uvalde and 64 in Lakey. As we take a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, expect nothing but sunshine today. By 10, it's already going to be in the 80s, noon 86. We're going to have a breeze from the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour, 94 for the high temperature today in San Antonio. All right, I'm showing you a graphic here. I know it's a little early in the morning, but I want you to rub your eyes and take a look at this graphic. Okay, so far in San Antonio in October, we have had 4 days where the high has been above 94 degrees, at or above 94 degrees. Last year we had 4 days, but that was for the entire month of October. And 2022 only 1, 2021 only 0 days where the high was at or above 94. And so we are off to a very warm start for the month of October. And guess what? We're going to add on to this tally. I've got details on our very hot afternoons, but our pleasant mornings coming up in just a bit. Jeff. RJ.
All right, and we're looking great outside on the roadways so far this morning. If you're taking a look at your screen, I-10 and Woodlake Parkway, traffic is moving just along just fine. You got US 90 and Loop 1604 also looking good. I'm looking at TxDOT right now. Again, no crashes to report at this time, but we do have a couple of construction zones. That's not anything new here. Construction at I-35 North, Loop 1604. Got a couple lanes blocked in that area, but yeah, so far so good, right, RJ?
Yeah, not bad out there. And Alex Gomez, we saw earlier in Drive Cam, making his way through the streets of San Antonio, and things still looking pretty good. Of course, maybe some people waking up a little bit later, stayed up late for that Cowboys win. Alex, how are things going out there?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, right now I'm making my second pass through the downtown area, and right now things have been easy going. Lots of fast speeds out here. Driving conditions are perfect right now. Dry roads this morning, so I'm not seeing too many crashes out here, RJ.
Yeah, I see the Alamo Dome in the background there shining bright, and also the Tower of the Americas. So pretty good shot from Alex, and of course he will continue to survey the roads and give us some more info as we get it. All right, now to some of our top stories. A man shot in the face was rushed to the hospital after a shooting at a Northside apartment complex. San Antonio police also say that the suspect drove away from this scene in a minivan. Police were called to the complex near Jones-Maltzberger Road and West Sunset just before 5 o'clock last night. They say that this all stemmed from an argument between two men. This morning, police are still searching for the suspect in that shooting.
To another shooting, police say 2 people were shot and 2 minors are in custody after what San Antonio police are calling a botched drug deal this past weekend. This happened at a shopping center on Blanco Road near Lock Hill Selma yesterday. That video you just saw right there was from the front of those stores. Police say that the drug deal was between 1 person and 3 minors. That single person and 1 of the minors were both shot. The other 2 minors are the ones that are still in custody. Police have not yet provided any other details this morning.
Well, in the span of just 1 week, Texas Department of Public Safety troopers with Operation Lone Star found more than 300 people attempting to cross into the U.S. illegally.
Typically, when a person is found attempting to illegally cross the border, they're taken to the immigration detention facility. Zaria Oates spoke with the person who oversees a South Texas detention facility about preparations for a potential influx of detainees.
We're always prepared for any type of situations that come to our attention.
Sylvester Ortega is the acting field office director for enforcement and removal operations at the San Antonio field office. Enforcement and removal operations fall under Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. One of the detention facilities Ortega oversees is the Pearsall Detention Facility, one we were able to tour with no cameras allowed inside. On your screen is the inside of a different detention facility with a similar layout for visual purposes. The Pearsall Detention Center has a maximum capacity of 1,842 people. In early October, the number of people inside the facility is more than 1,750.
Normally, we have influxes in waves. So usually summertime is our heaviest time. Right now at the moment, because of certain policies and procedures that we have in place, the influx has not happened yet.
Not yet, but the Texas Department of Public Safety continues to make large-scale apprehensions. On September 30th, DPS troopers in Eagle Pass located 230 non-U.S. citizens attempting to cross into the U.S. illegally. On October 2nd, members with the Texas National Guard located another 135 non-U.S. citizens attempting to cross. Some of the countries represented in the apprehensions were Colombia, Turkey, China, Afghanistan, and Iran, among several others. Individuals can stay inside detention facilities until they've exhausted all legal options to remain in the U.S.
One of the main misconceptions is that the detention facilities are prisons. ERO does not hold non-citizens for punitive reasons.
According to an ICE official, if all legal options are exhausted, an order of removal is issued. Arrangements are then made for the person to be returned to their home country unless their home country cannot receive the person. Then they'll remain in ICE custody.
ERO is committed to public safety. We want to make sure that our communities are safe from any criminality, any gang affiliations. We do work with our partners in law enforcement to make sure that national security threats are addressed as well as public safety threats.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Well, closer to home, it's been a neighborhood park 6 years in the planning stages. That would be the Mitchell Chang Foundation that has set November 30th as the grand opening for Mitchell's Landing.
The park located on Hardy Oaks Parkway honors 3-year-old Mitchell Chang, who drowned to death. His family, though, raised the funds, and the city of San Antonio and other corporations have chipped in to make it happen. April Chang says that what started out as a tribute to her son has really opened her eyes to the greater need for families with children with different needs.
We really hope that this good helps other families, and honestly, it's going to start making other changes in the community because it's going to start bringing awareness to other families, and it's going to change children's perceptions of individuals with disabilities. Normalization starts here.
You can learn more about the features that make this park unique, that it goes beyond the ADA standard. Just go to our website at KSAT.com. Another one of those stories where you turn that tragedy into something special, and that little baby's life has inspired such a big, huge change for a community. So
yeah, 6 years in the making too. Yeah, I know you were here when covering some of that when that happened and stuff. So yeah, good to see that that mother's taking that action there. All right, it's 5:41 right now, 73 degrees outside.
Next, we got a big moment for LeBron James and his son, Bronny, something that's never been done before in the NBA.
Plus, how you can win tickets to the Clásico Regio set for this coming Saturday inside the Alamo Dome.
That's a lot of excitement right there, RJ. Okay, going out to the city.
That second cup of coffee.
There you go. It's beautiful out there, man. Grab you guys a first cup of coffee. Join us. Thanks so much for waking up with us. We got so much more ahead on GMSA.
5:45, welcome back to GMSA. Well, history is made at Sunday's preseason game between the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. LeBron James and his son Bronny became the first father-son duo to play together on an NBA team. So it was only for about 4 minutes or so, but fans were definitely excited to see history out there. Bronny is 20 years old and has James Jr. on the back of his jersey. The younger James was picked by the Lakers 55th overall back in the draft back in June. So pretty impressive stuff, yeah. LeBron, he just does not age.
I'm just like, talk about pressure, though.
Yes.
Being on the same team as your daddy, whoo, I bet he...
Does he call him LeBron or Dad when he's, trying to run a play or something?
Ah, Lord bless it.
All right, get your phone out right now because we are counting down the days here. The QR code that you see on your screen, we're still hosting the sweepstake for KSAT insiders to win tickets to the Clásico Regio that is set for this coming Saturday inside the Alamo Dome. Again, this is one of the biggest rivalries in soccer in Mexico, pitting Monterrey's two teams, crosstown rivals Tigres and Rayados taking on one another.
Now, they are bringing the big matchup to San Antonio, and of course, everybody is super duper pumped about it. KSAT insiders, you can enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to the game, but you already know you have to be an insider, and it's very easy to sign up. Just need your email address. This sweepstakes is now open and runs until October 9th, so you got time, man. You got some time.
Yeah, we got a couple more days, and of course, the Alamo Dome, I do expect a pretty good crowd out there for that big soccer match.
5:46, 73 outside.
Apple Intelligence will start rolling out very soon. Here are your favorite Apple devices. We're going to tell you what's included in this new
Welcome back. It is 5:50. In your consumer headlines this morning, Apple's new AI features could be coming soon. According to Bloomberg, Apple will roll out the first wave later this month, including new writing and transcription tools. Users can also expect photo editing features with more updates next year.
All right. Well, the FCC has given SpaceX approval to provide its Starlink satellite systems to areas affected by Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. So this basically means that the satellites will allow texting for T-Mobile users. There's been a lot of connection issues out there since that hurricane hit. So SpaceX and T-Mobile's first direct-to-cell satellites launched in January, but there has been opposition from other wireless companies. All right, so yes, definitely any way to kind of help those folks out there. All right, let's take you out to the roads right now. 37 at Houston, traffic looking pretty good. 37 Hot Wells out there for my folks in the southeast side of town. Things looking pretty good. And same situation here, 35 at US 90. Let's go and check in with Alex Gomez. He is on the roads for us. Oh, wait, we're going to Sarah.
Yeah, but it's like he rolling still right now. We got to get to Sarah.
Let's go
different
to
than
Sarah,
Alex
yes.
Gomez, I'm just going to say. We're going to talk about the weather. All right, so we have got temperatures much cooler in the hill country. It's 58 in Fredericksburg and 61 in Kerrville this morning. 10 degrees cooler than in San Antonio, but I think we're going to dip into the 60s in the Alamo City here briefly over the next hour or so. It's 70 in Pleasanton, 79 in Del Rio, so almost 10 degrees warmer than San Antonio out in Del Rio. 73 in Catula. Good morning, Gonzales. It's 67 degrees. Morning's expected to be even cooler than this in the coming days. But one of the reasons why the hill country is a lot cooler is because they've got lower humidity. Dew points in the low 50s in the hill country, while it's close to 60 degrees muggy in San Antonio. And as we look at the dew point trend this week, noticeably muggy today, but by tomorrow, Wednesday, and throughout the week and into the weekend, we're going to have pleasantly low humidity out there. And that means we're going to have a tale of two stories, okay? Whenever you have low humidity in San Antonio, usually means cool mornings and warm afternoons. And that is exactly going to be the case for us for the week ahead. Take a look at this. Mornings are going to dip even into the low 60s by Friday, but in the afternoons, we're going to be in the mid to upper 90s. For October, that is pretty rare. So again, it is pretty rare for us to see those highs in the mid to upper 90s into the middle of October, but it is going to get hot in the afternoon, so enjoy those nice and cool mornings. Now, tropical moisture, deep tropical moisture in the Gulf of Mexico associated with Hurricane Milton is actually going to reinforce our drier air, because on the west side of this system, we're going to get winds from the north, drier air moving in from the north, while it is going to be a different story for Florida. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Hurricane Milton. Hurricane Milton, take a look at your screen. You can see there's a tiny little dot right there. Do you see that? That is the eye of the hurricane forming, which means that it is strengthening. It is currently a Category 2 hurricane, and it is going to be barreling west and strengthening. It'll be a Category 4 hurricane by this time tomorrow morning, and it is expected to make landfall along the western coast of Florida on Wednesday. Areas from Gainesville all the way down to the southern tip of Florida need to be on alert for Hurricane Milton. As we take a look at Milton, it will eventually dissipate over the open Atlantic, but still, this is going to be a major storm. The potential for life-threatening surge is the highest from Tampa all the way down south of Naples, and then flash flooding inland in Florida is very likely for areas like Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tampa, Orlando, Deltona, and Daytona Beach. So keep that in mind. As for our forecast in San Antonio today, we're going to be sunny and warming up, 86 by noon. In the afternoon, 94 for the high temperature. And you can see that just about everywhere. We're going to be dealing with highs in the mid to even upper 90s. It'll be 96 in Converse, 96 at Stinson. And as for our forecast, again, tale of two stories. In the mornings, it's going to be nice and crisp and fall-like. In the afternoons, you'll be sweating, in spite of the fact that it'll be a dry heat with low humidity.
It's a fun roller coaster ride for you.
Oh, yeah.
It is now 5:54 right now, 73 degrees outside.
All right, let's quickly get through your lottery here. Pick 3. We got 5, 6, 4, Fireball 9, Daily 4, 0, 0. Victor Wembanyama's number 1 right there, 8, and Fireball 2. Cash 5, 5, 14. 24, 30, 33. Lotto Texas 10, 21, 37, 39, 43, 52. Sound like I'm ringing off some bingo.
There you go.
All right, Powerball 2, 12, 46, 52, 65. Powerball 3, Megaplier of 2. Good luck to everyone out there. Coming up in our next hour of GMSA, Cowboys fans waking up a bit tired but victorious after some late night magic. We've got the game winner, and what's next for America's team?
And a grand opening for a neighborhood park is coming up fast. The story behind this park's namesake and why the community is keeping his name alive.